Tibet is a land of mountains, plateaus, and pagodas. Located in southwestern China, the Tibetan Autonomous Region has an average height of over 4,500 meters, often being called the roof of the world. Besides being near the Himalayas, Tibet also has several lakes and is a source of several major rivers. However, it only has a population of around 3 million people, making it one of the least densely populated areas in the world.
Going back to about 680, Tibet has practiced their own unique form of Buddhism inspired by many others. Up until the 1950s, the Dalai Lama was the political and spiritual leader of Tibet, standing at the head of the theocracy with a caste system. However, during the 1950s, China invaded Tibet and claimed it as its rightful territory, exiling the 14th and current Dalai Lama and other members of the government in Dharamsala, India, where they remain today.
Many social problems plague the sparsely populated, rugged land. The Chinese government has encouraged settlers to move to Tibet, creating a division between Han Chinese and ethnic Tibetans, and restricting access to healthcare and other basic services such as electricity and water to Tibet.
Under the premise of suppressing dangerous separatists, Chinese officials have also destroyed many cultural and historical sites, prevented Tibetans from practicing aspects of Buddhism that would be subversive or support the Dalai Lama, and restricted information about Tibetan history and language in schools. During the height of the Cultural Revolution, a period of nationalistic unrest, more than 6,000 monasteries and other cultural sites were destroyed by Chinese officials and angry mobs. All these have contributed to the continuing destruction of a culture and sense of national identity in Tibet, and over time, Tibet came closer and closer to being just another part of China.
Many protesters and political figures have been jailed, often without trial, and those who are put on trial are often given poor legal representation. Political prisoners suffer from mistreatment inside prison, and there have been accounts of torture, execution, and death, while activists have been detained from the UN, Amnesty International, and other reputable humanitarian NGOs.
China has a different viewpoint, however. They claim that many allegations made by the pro-independence movement are either false or exaggerated. Also, they point to the increasing quality of life in Tibet. Tibetan citizens were no longer burdened by a caste system that forced many into a permanent underclass, and more towns and cities have been provided with water, electricity, and basic services than before, though the region remains very underdeveloped. China also fears that allowing Tibetans to successfully secede would push other ethnic minorities in China with similar independence movements to make similar claims to autonomy and independence.
One solution to the problem involves a compromise. Some Tibetans are pushing for autonomy in the region, still staying as part of China but bringing in a more responsible government that can better manage the affairs of Tibet. The government in exile has been open to such a plan, but neither side has made any moves towards such a solution. Another solution would be for China to relax its harsh laws against protesters and make an effort to preserve Tibetan religion and cultural history. Such an effort could go a long way towards easing tensions on both sides.
Though this issue may seem very complex, you too can get involved. Spread awareness in our school and on social media about the problem. Write letters and sign petitions that increase pressure on China and the world to take action. There are many organizations that are helping to resolve the conflict and uncover the truth in Tibet, such as Friends of Tibet Movement, Amnesty International, the International Campaign for Tibet, and many other groups, most of which can be found in a list on the website of the Tibetan Government in Exile, tibet.net. Help these movements through volunteering and donating. Your participation will help move the world closer to a solution and lasting peace in Tibet.
One of the ways we are getting involved is by raising funds for the Friends of Tibet movement. This lotus flower poster is a symbol of reunification and spiritual reawakening in Tibetan Buddhism. Just as the lotus grows out of the mud and blooms into a beautiful flower, Tibet will eventually become a free and proud once again. By buying this poster for only the low price of $5, you are helping to bring about a lasting peace to the conflict in Tibet.